Hi, welcome back. I'm Master Jamie. This is how to make latex fetish wear, and in this tutorial I will cover curved seams. Now curved seams are tricky. They just are. They're tricky by nature. So if you don't get them perfect, you won't get them perfect the first time. If you do, you're very talented. I'm going to show you in this tutorial how to make the pouch. I'm going to assume you can get side release buckles, bungee cord, and you'll also need these eyelets. Also one of these stoppers is very useful. Maybe where you are you can't get these and you want to do the hood. Hood is very straightforward, same basic principle. Now what I did was I marked a circle on a piece of latex and I'm going to cut that out. This piece will make up the walls of the pouch and it just is long enough to go completely around the circumference of the circle. That's the outside. This strip will reinforce, this will be double thickness, and this is where the eyelets will be hammered through. This thicker strip, which you can either buy thicker latex or layer the latex. Now when you layer the latex it will get wrinkly, like so. But this will secure to the pouch like that, and this will just reinforce the edge. I'm going to show you how to do all of that. Firstly, cut out your circle. Now there's no fixed diameter. The only thing you have to bear in mind is that this latex needs to be able to go completely around the circumference. And you would cut out a circle very much the same way you would cut out any other shape. Voila, you have your circle. What I'll get you to do next is to clean everything. Okay, so now that you've cleaned everything, you're going to take your, what I call the eyelet strip, and you're going to glue it on somewhere about here. You're going to do that the same way you glue everything else. Now bear in mind this isn't a curved seam, we're not at that part of the tutorial yet. If you're not interested in making a pouch but you are interested in how to glue curved seams, maybe you should skip forward in the tutorial. One thing I will say, this pouch is very useful for the simple reason that most fetish wear won't have pockets. I know most of the professionally made stuff I've bought hasn't had pockets, and it's not something you think of when you're buying it. They generally, however, will have belt loops because belts are cool, and that's where this comes useful. Now this has all been cleaned with your white spirit. Right, now you just lay it down, getting it as straight as possible. And the reason you're thickening this up is because you're going to put eyelets in it. I'm going to tell you a little bit about eyelets in a second. Okay, just going to trim this. Beautiful. Now as you can see, you have your reinforced band. Okay, so when I say eyelets, I mean these bad boys. They come in a kit like that in my country. In your country, it probably won't be the same brand name. They look like this, just two halves. There's this half and a smaller, flatter half. You'll get a cutting tool. You'll also get tools with which you will bang them together. And this is where your hammer comes in. So you'll need your hammer too. And you simply cut the pieces out using the cutting tool and insert the eyelets, hammering them shut. I'm now going to do that. Oh, and if you haven't figured it out, it's a good idea to measure this so it's even. You'll see what I mean when I do it. Okay, so after you've cut your holes, you'll take your closing tool and your eyelets and you'll insert them. Okay, so using your eyelet tool and your hammer, this is what you should be left with. Now they're not perfect, are they ever? And as you can see, they're closed on the back. This is where we glue our curved seam, and it is tricky. There's no real right or wrong way to do this, so okay, so you get your glue, get your round piece, make sure you're applying to the rough side, and again like with the straight seam, you just apply the glue to the thickness you need, around half. Now I'm going to do one side and then I'm going to do the other, so I'm going to put half and half. You just gotta wait for that to get a little bit tacky. Now, the method I'm going to use is I'm going to start at one side, glue half, and then glue the other. So I'm just going to get as much of this out of the way as I can. I'll just do my best. It's probably hard to see what exactly I'm doing. Basically, I'm just laying it edge to edge. And you should end up with a seam that looks like that. And we just do the other side. Get our glue, and we follow the same routine. Now you may not have seen that, but I was just applying glue to the remaining edge, and we are simply going to continue around with that seam. And voila, one circular butted edge seam. Then you just firmly press down on it, for the simple reason that it will be a tricky one to seam roll. And then just to finish it off, you need to join the edges, which we will do now. Okay, so we've applied glue down the edge, and it's simply a matter of marrying them up. Just make sure you don't stick stupid things to stupid things. what you should end up with will look like that. Now it will have a little bit of wrinkling down here. That's just because of the nature of that seam. It's an unusual seam. It's also tricky to do, so if you've done it as well as this, give yourself a little pat on your sleeve back. Now I'll show you how to add these. Okay, so very simply you're going to add this to here, and it is literally the easiest thing in the world to do. You'll apply some glue, and the other side. Now, you won't completely close it. What you'll do is line it up slightly, like so, but still leave some of it open. And the reason for that is you're going to stick it like so. Seam it. And some of the time you won't be able to seam roll it perfectly, so just pressing very, very firmly will always help. Then what I'm going to do is use nylon to make a belt loop. You can do whatever the hell you want. Now this is nylon bungee cord. If you run nylon under a flame gently, it'll melt a little and seal that so that won't fray. Okay, so what you'll do then is thread the nylon through the eyelets. Now I'm pretty pleased with making this out of the translucent stuff because it's fun. When you've had a thread through, you can just add a stopper. Also, if you singe with a flame, if you singe the end of these, it'll stop them fraying. Tie a knot, get a stopper, about $1 each. So then you can do that. And also, the use of a side release buckle means you can take the pouch off your belt and put it back on easily without unbuckling your belt. That is how you glue curved seam. That is a pouch tutorial. Okay, so if you've done everything I told you to do, you'll have a pouch. I made a black one earlier. Looks good. Add your cord, add your stopper, put your valuables inside. If you do it right, these should also be waterproof, so you can put all sorts of weird shit in there. Weird motherfucker. That is gluing curved seams. I am Master Jamie. Thanks for watching. Comment below. More tutorials should be in the left hand side thing, provided this is YouTube you're watching it on. And yeah, cool. See you in a bit.